When I left home to go to art college, my dad asked if he could commission me in the future to do a series of portraits in oil. One of my sister, my two brothers, and myself. 4 years later, I got the reference photos I needed on my wedding day. Everyone's smiling, dressed up in their best, celebrating together. I finally felt confident in my skill level and began the series. Earlier this year, I finished Vivian's portrait and sent it off to my dad. Now, I'm starting on Joe's portrait. Last time, my only documentation was the progress photos I took at the end of each painting session. This time, I decided to film instead. I toned the canvas around the figure with a wash of burnt sienna. I also added some where his hair would eventually be to help give it an undertone of warmth. For the skin tone, I mixed the basic cooler colors from the reference photo and used that as my first layer of his skin. I plan to come back later with washes of warmer colors to bring in pinks and reds. Mixing the color of his suit was not easy. The cloth had blue undertones, both from being under a colored light when the photo was taken, and from the filters added later. I found the blue tint more appealing than just painting it black and gray, but still, I wanted to be careful that the blue wouldn't draw too much attention away from his face and hands. I blocked in the features of the face next. This helped me form good landmarks to make sure my proportions were accurate. I added in more subtlety to the shadows on his suit jacket through a series of washes. Then I painted in other features of his suit. At this stage, the portrait was ready for its background. The background in the reference photo was busy and not particularly interesting, so I abstracted it by simplifying the colors while maintaining the same pattern of light and shadow. This is a common approach to simple backgrounds in portrait oil painting. I had made it to the final sections that needed to be addressed. In his hands, Joe holds a wooden frog instrument. I'll talk about its compositional significance in a moment. One of the ways my dad wanted to deviate from the reference photo was to paint Joe with his beard. On that day, he had been clean-shaven, but he provided me with some good reference photos, so adding in his beard wasn't any trouble. At this point, I could tell the painting was almost done. I sent off pictures to my dad to see if he had any final edits. He gave me instructions to take the painting to completion. The difficulty in portraiture lies in capturing the subject's personality. The photo of Joe I chose to paint was one of my favorites from my wedding day, and has a sweet memory attached to it. Instead of having our guests clink on champagne glasses to signal a kiss from the bride and groom, I provided every table with a kissing frog. Tied to each wooden frog instrument was a little note that read something like, "Play the frog for a kiss from the new Mr. and Mrs." My brother, a percussionist and playful at heart, followed us around through the evening playing the frog. His grin was the same smile he wore when we played as kids, and the one that comes to mind every time I think of him. I am proud of this painting. I feel like I grew as an artist during this project in my mastery of the medium, knowledge of anatomy, and ability to bear my heart through my work. My dream is that this painting will become a family heirloom, passed down for generations to come. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe so you can see what I make for you next time.